Welcome back to On Right Podcast. Here you have Elijah alongside Grant. We're going to dive into the NBA Finals here. We're going to touch on a little bit of Pistons free agent, Pistons draft talk as far as what we think about that. But first things first, Warriors got it done yesterday, tied it up 1-1 in the first two games of the NBA Finals. I guess I'm gonna throw it over to you. Last time we talked was pre-finals. I believe you picked Boston, I forgot. I think you said in 7, and I picked the Warriors in 6. So I think either way, obviously we're both kind of on track for that. But it kind of,
Yeah.
now that we have two games under our belt, what are your first thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, just after that first game, I think Boston's a really good team. I think they're the better team. I just don't think that they're like the more experienced. And like that first game just felt weird. Like it was almost like Golden State just kind of took their foot off the pedal and just really like I just never seen a team explode for 40 like that in the fourth quarter in the way that like Golden State responded. Just kind of ran out of gas. I don't know if it was just like adrenaline, you know what I'm saying, just kind of pumping and then just kind of tailed off or what the case might be. But I mean, it's a solid series so far. I I'm shocked that Boston was able to steal one out in California. So we'll see what happens when they get to Boston. You got series starting to get a little chippy. Draymond definitely put his stamp on the game last night. I feel like he kind of got a couple of the players on the Celtics out of sorts. They definitely the Celtics definitely didn't get the support they did from role players in game one as they did in game two. But now they're also going home and sleeping in their own bed, getting at home cooking. Seeing the wife and the kids. So I usually see a lot of role players usually play pretty well at home. And they do on the road. So yeah, I won't be surprised if they come out 2-2. This first trip to Boston. I think the Warriors definitely got the experience to go on the road and knock them off. And I also feel like I can't see Boston, going over there and not at least getting one of these first two games at their house. So it's gonna be a good series, I can tell.
Yeah, no. Just to throw back to game one here, I would say I agree with a lot what you said. I When we were texting about it after the game, I said it went how I thought it was until the fourth,
Yeah.
and that was a Warriors ball game.
Yeah.
Curry came out. Um, I do think that was potentially a coaching error for Steve Kerr. Curry had 21 in the first quarter of game one. They pulled him out until like 6 minutes into the second quarter. I do know that is he typically sits out the start of the second, just watching a lot of the playoff games. But I think if I'm him, I maybe either shorten that or potentially leave him in. I mean, the guy,
He was on
what?
fire.
Yeah, I think he had 5 or 6 threes in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So I probably would have wanted to see what would have happened if he kept his foot on the gas. But I could see not wanting to, completely screw the rotations. But
Right.
you got to let those moments ride, I think. But outside of that, the the Boston Celtics hit like 9 or 10 threes in the fourth quarter of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's not going to happen very often.
Right.
You know, that's great for a half. And then for them just to be a landslide of threes in the fourth quarter, that was quite amazing to watch. Actually watching it, it seemed kind of surreal, really, that they were just draining them. The Warriors looked so out of sorts.
Yeah.
And like you said, they kind of, I don't know if it was a flustered or if they just let them kind of, I don't know what it was really. They never really responded though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all that rolling into game two, I think the Warriors came out with the exact same game plan, and you've seen it work to perfection this time. Celtics didn't hit the shots like they want. You see that in general, Tatum was on in the first half of the last game. He had his moments, hit a couple threes in a row. It looked like he was going to start heating up for real. I was a little nervous for them once I started seeing them drain them.
Yeah.
But then once again, it seems like he kind of let his foot off the gas, or shots that normally were falling just weren't falling for him, and it seems to
Yeah.
kind of be a reoccurrence of that.
He's also like trying to do like this James Harden type thing. He puts the ball out in front of him and like he's trying to like get the arm contact over both arms, but the ball's just getting knocked out. Like, well, they're not calling like they're not gonna call those fouls in the playoffs in the finals at that. So I just think like I mean I watched him do that like 5 or 6 times where he kind of like either lost the ball or he took 2 steps, didn't commit to shooting, and ended up like turning the ball over. I think they had legit like 10 turnovers in a matter of like 5 6 minutes, and that's when the avalanche started to kind of like really come from Golden State.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I agree with that. And so I think Boston heading into Game 3 here. Boston's obviously one of the more hostile places to play in all of the NBA. With the series tied up 1-1, they're going to be fired up, probably more fired up than if they were down 0-2. So I think the crowd knows that they could be like quote unquote the sixth man. So I think they're going to be into it. They're going to be looking to get Draymond kicked out. They're going to be looking to let Curry have it, and if he does any shimmies or whatever, they're going to hate him even more. So
Yeah,
the crowd is going to be a major factor for this team. And so I think if the Warriors can go out there and weather the storm in this third game, I kind of take control of the series. I think that's a very pivotal third game. I think either way, if you can you got to even out the series if you're Golden State and win one of these two on the road. But I
yeah,
think you can go ahead and get it done. Game 3, I think that puts that much more pressure on Boston, and takes that much more off of you. So that's kind of if I'm Golden State, I'm really looking to go ahead and take the series lead in this one, and come out strong. But they look phenomenal. I mean, from top to bottom. I personally think you said Boston's a better team. I really don't know. I think Warriors are so damn stacked. Um, you know,
yeah. I mean, I feel the same
Clay,
way. I
Clay,
just
as bad as Clay has been playing, you're going to tell me that any game he couldn't drop 30. So I think
yeah,
you got that cooking. Curry's doing well. Poole's playing phenomenal. Wiggins. I mean, they got their depth is
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like both teams. I mean, I feel like they're pretty evenly matched. I mean, they both go like 9, 10 deep. I think Boston has more size to where Golden State has more, finesse. Just kind of, like they both play like almost opposite styles of offense. But yeah, I mean, firepower from Golden State. I think I would kind of give them the edge just with having more of a punch off the bench with Jordan Poole. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like too, anything had better shooters, you definitely don't have you would assume a better shot to, get hot, get hotter than the other team will. You're right. Yeah, once Golden State, once the shots start, once we've seen Clay and Steph get hot. Now Clay, I think he's kind of just starting to run out of gas a little bit. I mean, this is the first time he's played this much in like almost 350 days or something crazy like that. I think even more, honestly.
900. Yeah.
Because I think he got hurt June 2019, and yeah, so almost like 900. Oh yeah, almost like full 3 years. So yeah, I mean, looking to see about him getting back on track. I don't think he definitely not going to shoot as bad as he did the other last night. And that was like,
And
oh
then
wow,
purposely they left him in to get him out of that snap. If you watch it, I mean, they even said it watching the game, but they left him in with a lot of the bench team in kind of garbage time, more or less,
just
to
to get out of it.
get him to snap out of that. And so
Yeah,
I think that'll pay off as the series plays on. He'll have a game for you.
yeah.
Um,
He'll get on Twitter and see everybody calling him washed, and he'll
he'll have a game. That's all you need. With everybody playing like that. That's all. If he can have a game for you with everything else, I think that's just icing on the cake. Uh,
yeah,
but no, it has been a good series. I mean, um, all in all, it's interesting to see this Boston team play for them to be so young, and
mm-hmm,
Horford, where the hell is he at game 2? So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
if he's going to be, yeah, is he going to be anywhere, 80% of game 1, that Boston got something to say, but
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be missing MIA again.
Yeah, I will say one thing that Boston like, they don't do them no favors with is like I mean they're physical, but they're like a little too physical, and they just get in foul trouble pretty quickly. Like they got in foul trouble pretty quickly last night, and then even like some turnovers. Like I mean, I'm talking just throwing the ball out of bounds. Like I said, Tatum, he had like 7 or 8 turnovers by himself. Guys just like not making the correct decisions, and I think Golden State had 33 points off of like 19 turnovers. So like that. I mean, that right there in itself is just like, I mean, as we kind of said, even our boys, our Fab Five group chat, we just talked about how you like the Celtics, like they gonna find a way to like lose this series. Like I think what I'm saying, just off of like how they've always played, and obviously, I do think just from an experience standpoint, Golden State does have the upper hand, and just being there many times before in the past. But like Boston, I mean, these are just some games. Like last night, they didn't do themselves no favors. They didn't help themselves out at all. It was over at like midway through the third.
Yeah.
And
I seen somebody say that every game Boston plays is the biggest game of their career, and
they either fumble or they
and Curry and Clay and all them. I mean, this is nice, but this is nowhere near the biggest. They've already had the biggest game. They've
right.
been in Game 7 when they haven't had a ring. They've been in Game
Yeah,
7 against LeBron or whoever whatever the case may be.
that's the point.
This is another moment for them, but not the biggest moment of their career so far. And every game moving forward will be Boston's
Yeah,
biggest moment. Yeah.
that's good. That's a good way to look at it. I didn't think about that. Okay. Yeah. No. Who you think? So I think Game 3 is Wednesday.
Mhm.
I mean, who do you see kind of pulling that one out?
I'm looking for the Warriors to get it. I think they're still going to take care of this, take care of business.
Yeah.
I think if they can get that one, they can get that one to kind of set the tone for on the road. They lost their first game at home. Go ahead and try to an eye for an eye and take that one,
Yeah.
and just kind of continue the slow steamroll. I still think Warriors in 6, so probably get this one, lose, take care of business at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I see them winning Game 3, but I see Boston winning Game 4. 'Cause I think Boston's like to make things extremely difficult on themselves.
Yeah,
I mean, we watched it all through the playoffs, pretty much. Like, I mean, they they blew a game against Milwaukee. Blew a couple games.
very true.
Blew a couple games in that Miami series. They just let teams get back into it or just don't make the right decisions. But they've always just responded like very, very well. But yeah, obviously, stage, games are gonna be a little tighter, stage a little bit more brighter this time around. So yeah, we'll see what happens. The hope is to get them going back 2-2, so anything we can do to get to the 7 games, just as much basketball as possible is ideal, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, I got two things to say. Draymond ain't making it out of Boston in both games.
Yeah,
he going to the locker room early, and I'm
this
fully
is the new
expecting
shirts they released.
put it up a little bit.
You know,
Yep, yeah. So that's gonna be watch that be the snapshot for the fucking thing.
the caption was 9 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 29 tackles last night. That was it. There, they said that's what the stat line was. They probably gonna have somebody. Barstool can probably have somebody passing them out
Yeah,
as people walking in. They might even try to be like, "Hey, can you just throw these on the back of the seats for the game?"
very true. Because I
That's
mean,
just, that's typical Boston.
Dave Portnoy, the owner of Barstool or whatever the hell he is now, big Boston guy. I mean, I can
Oh
deal with
yeah,
it a little bit because he's a Michigan guy, but
yeah.
that's separate note. But so yeah, Draymond ain't making the
Brian lives in his head rent free.
facts. Yeah, Draymond ain't making out of both games, and then I would just say, damn, I had another point on this, but yeah, I don't know. Either way, I'm looking forward to. Oh, the NBA, they spread these damn games out this year, damn near
Yeah,
on the 4th of July. This year,
yeah. And I
in
think
about 4 or 5 seasons, Game 7 gonna be on 4th of July.
right. Yeah, seriously. I mean, they talk about mid-season tournament and all this other type of stuff they got going on. And yeah, I mean, like, and even too, like, it'd be ideal. Honestly, it'd be ideal to go to a Game 7 because the Game 7 would be Sunday night, and then that following Thursday would be the draft. So just have a couple days to just hear about the series, and then you'll look up, and it'll be I don't know, NBA draft is always one of my favorite events. To kind of I can't sit and watch all of it, but the Pistons been picking pretty early, pretty often lately. So
Uh, that's soon to end, but no, the Game 7 theoretically would be on June 19th at
yep,
7 p.m. or at June 19th, Game 7. That's just
yeah,
crazy. Like, and it started June 2nd.
yeah. We got like 3-4 game break in between
Yeah,
every
and I,
yeah
I
three, four
get it.
days break.
You're flying across the country,
Right.
literally clear across the country. But
Yeah,
it's just kind of crazy.
and it's also they also try and make sure because it's like
Best basketball.
they want to have Wednesday night. Ain't nothing else going on right now except for baseball. I think they're trying to like. I personally think they should keep the games on during the week. The worst thing you can do is try to put on a game like that on a Saturday. Like I'm a pretty like. Obviously, we both big like basketball fans, but like if it's gonna be on Saturday, it's gonna be it's the odds of depending on what it is. Sometimes it's like
Yeah,
we don't really always work to the schedule on
I
the
agree
week.
with you.
Not, but
Definitely on a Saturday. And if they threw this little Sunday at 8 versus Sunday at 4:30,
yeah,
sounds a lot better than me. But
yeah,
yeah, no,
I agree.
regardless.
And the worst thing, we can shift gears here, but the worst thing is like it's in Boston on a Wednesday. It's at 9 o'clock. That makes zero sense to me. I can see why. Well, obviously, you got to keep the West Coast fans in mind because if they did have it at 5, they'd be all stuck in rush hour traffic. But it's still just like
Yeah,
it's the rush because it's stuck in traffic at 6, so
right.
you might as well just keep it at 8.
Yeah, yeah. You got to work early. Yeah, no. So
Right.
just to transition here, talk about the Pistons a little bit. As far as there's a lot of talk about what the Pistons are going to do, who they're targeting, what potential players are out there, and it seems to be mutual interest, which is another, I guess, an exciting thing for the
Yeah.
Pistons. So I guess from all the talk that we're hearing about, who are you most in favor of as far as the group of guys, or who are you against? I guess they can go either way.
For like
Free agency,
free agency.
if
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of big names. Look like they might be willing to spend a little bit of money, which is
Yeah.
so if you're going to drop, let's say, 120, $150 million on somebody, your number one is
Man. Wow. I don't know. That's tough because like I like Brunson a lot, but I just feel like when you start throwing them numbers around, it just don't even seem like it don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Just like and even, but at least he helped lead his team to a conference finals. And he showed he can get buckets on pretty big stages. Playing in the West at that. Um, I mean, Sexton ain't even made the playoffs yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like you just don't really want to give out money to guys that ain't really done nothing yet. You got Ayton where like like he's like the bigger like wild card. But I think he'd be the one that would make the most sense to spend that money on, just because of like that's like a pretty big team need, can be pretty big need. Um, and also like I think he's a solid player. I don't love his game completely, but man, I don't know. Like I said, I don't love Aiden. I do have a lot of question marks about him, more probably about him than the other guys, just besides them being a little small for their position. But I just feel like, I think it'd have to be Aiden. And then I think I'd want to probably just keep it pushing. I'd rather have like Ivy or like Ben Matherin, 6'4", 6'5", guys a little bit younger, more, a little more athleticism that you can maybe turn into something rather than just like I think like Brunson, like I don't think he's gonna get any better than he is now. Like I don't think like just I don't know. I could be wrong. And Sexton too could be completely wrong, but I think it just makes more sense to go with Ayton.
yeah. No, I guess I would have to second that. Aiden, and I think and it really goes to because we don't the draft is such a wild card as far as who's going to fall into your lap.
Yeah,
And then but either way, you can use Aiden because there's not a top center that we're looking at.
right.
So I think if you are going to go out and spend some money, I guess that is who I feel the most comfortable with. As far as I think you know what you're getting in him. As far as you know, he's a more modern center. He's not like a traditional Drummond,
Yeah,
type of guy that we've had in the past. He's obviously not Embiid either. But I think if you have to look at who you have to go through, and that's another big thing. So you have, as far as like Giannis is not going to go anywhere. He's right in your backyard, right in your division. So you're going to have somebody to clog that middle up a little bit. And
yeah,
he's what arguably a top 3, 4 center in the league. So it's hard to really pass that up. Now I do think it could be one of those things where maybe back half of that contract we're a little upset with it. But if you are going to go out and spend that money, I guess now he would be the guy to get now because I guess the backcourt I would rather roll the dice with somebody like you said out the draft
yeah,
versus the other two. Now, if you want me to throw another two out there, I had to be honest, I think I'd be calling Sexton.
yeah.
I liked him ever since Alabama days. He just
Mm-hmm.
stood out to me, and
When he played through that team 3-on-5
yeah, right.
for
Forgot
like
about
40.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no. So he's always stood out to me, and I just think so that'd be my number two on that, and Brunson would be my number third. Now I
yeah,
don't. I think now Aiden looks like we just read that earlier, but it looked like Aiden is going to be trying to get somewhere in like the 130, $40 million range.
It's not terrible.
Yeah. So, I guess that is something, that, I mean, with the way things are going, that's the going rate. And if you think a year or two from now, we're going to be trying to do it again with another type of center, you might end up spending more. So I do think it's one of the things you go ahead and get locked in and then hopefully you get an Ivy or somebody like that. And then I think we could be a bubble type playoff team next year.
Yeah. Yeah, the Ayton thing, man, like I said, I feel like he is the safest option, but like something about that situation just kind of scares me. It's like, why is Phoenix not like chomping at the bit, to went to conference final, went to the finals with him. I mean, he's improved pretty well on the last 3-4 seasons since he's been in the league. I heard just like something about how he might have been, getting into it with the coaches a little bit here and there. Or, I know like he also, I think he missed like, I don't know if this makes a difference or not, but like missed so many games because of like substance abuse or something like that, or just like performance enhancers, I think it was. A couple years back. I'm just kind of throwing out stuff there that I've heard because to me it's just so odd. Like I haven't like I can't even those things that I just rattled off. They don't that stuff don't necessarily mean you're not gonna sign a guy to a max deal. You know what I'm saying? And so like for me, it's like what is their like what is like the best team in the league on arguably last year? Like, what's their deal with like not wanting to keep him?
No, that's a great point, and I really don't know. Other than, and I guess this would make us sound kind of like buying something bad, but I guess they just think it's not worth the money. I don't, and I hate to say that, but and then we're gonna buy it, but or I hate to say it, use his words, but sign him, get a contract. But I
Yeah,
just think at the end of the day, that might be it. And I don't know what they have cooking. Obviously, Chris Paul gonna be off the books very soon. And then they got a bunch of young guys. They got Devin Booker there, so I'm not sure what they think they could have cooking or what they.
yeah,
We'd have to talk, hop in some forums to see who you know, they might think they can get a Giannis or somebody in a few years or something. Who knows what they think they could do with a clean
yeah,
book. So I don't know. It's interesting, but also, I guess I can't even find good words for it, but I guess just they think it's not value, to
hmm
them at a certain rate. And we would, if what the article I read is correct, we would get him at a significant discount compared to them because you sign a max. The max you can sign with your current team is more valuable than the max you can sign with your not current team.
yeah,
If I read that article correctly. So, I guess just all things considered, I guess if we're gonna go spend some money, which I'm all for keeping the books clean and
yeah,
win 28 games again next year. But if they think we got something and they want to put their put the gas to the floor here, then I think that's the safest bet. And I really do think we're probably hovering around the playoffs there.
what they say his deal was like that he can sign 176 with them for 5 years.
Yeah,
All right, let's see. I just wish if he wasn't restricted, I'm like, man, we could just maybe give him like a 1 year deal with a player option or something. Like I'd like to do something more like that, just like, all right, let's see how it works, But I don't know. Like I know a lot of players. I mean, especially they don't really. I think those deals are for only like sometimes bigger players can kind of have, what I'm saying, have that
right, right.
luxury of being able to say like, well, I'm just going, go year to year. We'll figure it out from there. And he obviously,
No, I would.
after
Hey,
his first contract,
I agree.
wants more
Now, if they
security.
could sign him next year for $45 million on a 1 year deal, I would do it.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Let's just see what happens.
yeah.
We make it to the second round. All right, let's have another conversation. Like, but it also kind of leaves room too. It's like, well, everybody got paid this much this year. Now that the salary cap is going up, so now he can try to demand more, per year than he did if we just signed him to like you said like like 130 million or 150 million. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I like his game. He's not like my favorite. I don't love like everything he does. I think he could maybe look to be a little bit more aggressive, like rebounding and just like playing a little more under the rim. But
According to the CBS article, it says if Aiden moves on, he's likely to end up on Charlotte, Toronto, Portland, Indiana, as mentioned above. But Detroit could offer him a max space contract.
so we'll definitely be calling.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a sign and trade, and I mean it's going to have to be just because I think he's restricted. So that means somebody leaving if he coming. But we also, hopefully we get, maybe like one of their players, like a second round picker. I mean, I'm just,
You
kind
agree?
of realistic at this point. Like I'm definitely like living with the reality that like we're gonna end up losing like Isaiah Stewart, or I'm fine with Grant being gone.
Yeah, it's gonna be Grant and Stewart or somebody. And then when you look at it that from that point of view, it's really you're swapping Grant for another 10 million a year or something.
Yeah,
Where it's not then as much. It seems better than keeping Grant and going out and spending another 35 million a year.
I love to give Cam Johnson somehow too.
Yeah,
They definitely not letting him go. But that would be, I, I mean, you give us
hey,
Ayton and Johnson, hey,
I think Killian would do great learning behind CP3.
yeah, I agree. Him, yeah, hell yeah. Saban Lee, get the whole G League, just throw the whole G League at them. See what
Brunson
they do.
Edward, no, but
Yeah, Motor City Cruise, take your pick.
yeah, anybody but Bay and Cade.
Yeah,
No, so I mean, hey, if next year if we looking at Ivy, Bay, Cade, Bagley, Ayton, with a couple of the guys that we know off the bench, I don't
you
think.
hope we maybe get a shooter
Yeah,
thrown in
I
there
don't.
off the bench from free agency. Yeah,
I think that's realistically, I think that's like an upper 30 win team. I think that's like a 37 to
yeah.
41 wins.
Is Draymond a free agent yet? We need
I feel
like
like I feel like he signed that contract in like 2015.
I think it's got to be time soon. Like I feel like I'd love to have Draymond just in there for a year or two. I feel like that would really. You want to talk about getting the stadium attendance up and everything, and he can mess around and just kind of help them. Obviously he's not who he used to be, but I still think you can. He probably have to. I don't know about like trying to get him like as like a starter, because I do feel like they got like more guys that are like more talented that can should start over him. But maybe in a couple of years, when he's thinking about it, thinking about going full time into TNT and doing his little podcast, we can get him to
Yeah, maybe next summer,
hop over there and next summer. Yeah, I feel like he probably got when he come in like 08, 09.
somewhere around there.
I think he played at least like 12 to 13 years, 12 to 15. He's in that range for sure.
He's 33 years old.
Yeah, so he's like 10 or 11 years.
Yeah, he probably
Okay.
got 2 or 3 on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so I'm cool with that. But I think the Pistons are obviously in an exciting place. I mean, so every day you wake up is different. I mean, I've seen some crazy shit about Gordon Hayward that I almost made me throw my phone. But I mean, every day you wake up, you see some different shit that
I didn't see that about him.
oh my god, it was horrible. But just exciting, So I think it was
Yeah.
basically Jeremy Grant for him and a couple other random. But uh,
I saw Jeremy Grant, Sadiq Bey, and one other player for Ben Simmons, and that had me a little scared. Not gonna hold you up.
yeah,
Because Ben Simmons made sense when Cade wasn't there. I don't think he really makes sense no more.
no, he don't make sense. I'm glad we didn't do that this year.
Yeah.
Especially because he didn't come back and play. Like if he would have been playing since March and even did what he's supposed to, like what he normally did, but
Yeah.
like
And
seriously, is he playing game one of next year?
I don't know.
That's
And then
that's how crazy the situation is.
I think about like honestly, like you put him on the floor now, you can almost pretty much double team the other team's best player, and not really even worry about having to like guard him. If he unless he come back, just what did he come out and start just for firing threes?
Come
That'd
back
be
with
so nuts. But he got to kind of now because it's like I just feel like he gotta be able to at least be somewhat of a threat. But that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I know. I think it's always a good time of the year. It can make you a little excited about what might happen with the Pistons. It can also kind of concern you because you just hope that like they don't start just like taking the bait, taking on bad contracts just to help other teams out or trying to speed up the process. I'm like, don't like. I mean, we've been so bad since like what 2017, 2016. Like, what's another year or two gonna do? Like honestly, like we got young guys you can watch play that are fun to watch. Like at this point, it's like we might as well just let them rock out for a little bit longer and just make good decisions on free agency and just in the draft and continue to do so from there.
Agreed. Yeah, no, don't speed it up and do nothing stupid. I think I've said it 100 times and I'll keep saying this. It's all on record. We need to have the books as clean as possible. We need to be able to get two max or a Cade and another max when he's a free agent.
Yeah,
Whatever we do to make that happen, we
yeah.
need a spot. That's kind of
I'm with you on that.
agreed.
Yeah, well,
Anything else for
we'll
the Eagles?
no, that's all I got. So tune back in. By the time we tune back in, it'll be the night of Game 3, so we'll be able to just have get a little bit more analysis on that before the game starts. Dive into a little bit more of the draft stuff, and that'll be here before you know it.
Yeah,
So
around the corner for sure. We'll be back
absolutely.
at the Wednesday.
Yep. Till next time.